the funniest fake Minecraft speedruns, because the speedrunners are absolutely terrible at hiding the fact that they're cheating. This speedrunner spawns in and immediately turns around and finds a pillager outpost and a ruin portal, which if you ask me is a pretty lucky spawn. The speedrunner first goes to the pillager outpost, but tons of pillagers start attacking them. So the speedrunner enters the outpost, and once he gets to the top, he sees tons of pillagers and shulkers? Wait a minute, why are there shulkers in a pillager outpost? Because shulkers only spawn inside of caves, which means there's no way for a shulker to possibly be inside this outpost. Well, because of how many mobs there are, the speedrunner instantly dies, but they spawn back in. And set the difficulty to peaceful? I'm pretty sure this breaks the rules of speedrunning. But the speedrunner goes back to the pillager outpost and can now attack the shulkers without them attacking him. So he opens the chest and finds tons of golden apples. Alright, he is definitely cheating just like my dad cheats on my mom. Wait, what? Well, he takes the golden apples and leaves the pillager outpost. Once the speedrunner is at the ruin portal, they loot the chest and surprisingly find some pretty normal loot. The only thing weird about this is that they have the exact amount of obsidian they need to fix the ruin portal. So they place down their obsidian and light the ruin portal. Once in the nether, the speedrunner finds a conveniently placed path of just gold ore. So of course the speedrunner follows the path, which of course leads him right to a nether fortress. Wait, why is this nether fortress filled with horses? And first of all, the horses shouldn't even be inside of a nether fortress because horses can only spawn in the desert. But once the speedrunner is in the fortress, they look around for a little bit until they find a house. They enter the small pink house and find a sign that says present from Herobrine. Let's just ignore the fact that the speedrunner is clearly in like first grade. And if this chest has some clearly cheated loot, I feel like that should mean that everyone should subscribe. Well, they open the chest and find a stack of Eyes of Ender, because of course they do. They take the Eyes of Ender and make their way back towards the nether portal. Once they're back in the overworld, wait, what the heck? How did this end portal get here? Because if we look back in the footage, there was definitely not an end portal here, which means this speedrunner must be using some magical powers. Well, they place in the Eyes of Ender and enter the end. Once they're in the end, we can very quickly realize that there is just no ender dragon, but there are tons of diamond blocks and a sign, which says Herobrine killed dragon? Oh wow, thank you Herobrine, you're so nice. And that's how the speedrunner got the world record for the fastest speedrun. This speedrunner starts by looking down at the ground, but whenever they look up, they see a zombie spinning on a pole? Wait, what the heck is going on? Why are they giving him emeralds? Oh wait, this is the wrong footage. My bad. I am super close to 20,000 subscribers, so you better subscribe. This speedrunner starts right next to a village. So they immediately go to the village and enter the closest house. And in the house is a block I've actually never seen before. But the speedrunner ignores this very strange block and leaves the house. They then find a horse with a saddle already attached to it, which only has a 2% chance of spawning. So the speedrunner rides the horse and begins running off into the distance, until eventually they can see a ruin portal out in the distance. But wait, is that ruin portal already lit? The chances of there being an already lit nether portal are literally impossible. But once the speedrunner is at the nether portal, they exit the horse and loot the chest, which has some normal loot. They then enter the portal, and once inside the nether, the speedrunner finds a creeper head and a sign. And the sign says, twerk on creeper for special gift. What the heck? Surely the speedrunner isn't gonna— wait, oh my god, what are you doing? Wait, how do they have Eyes of Ender all of a sudden? I am literally so confused what just happened. But the speedrunner takes her special gift and leaves the nether. But once they're in the overworld, they look around and their horse is literally nowhere to be seen. So the speedrunner ends up running all the way back to the village. But that's when the speedrunner types inside chat, BRB? Why is the speedrunner going AFK inside of a speedrun? It might be some new pro tactic, you never know. Well, eventually the speedrunner comes back and they go deeper inside the village, until they end up finding a sign with a hole behind it. And the sign says, not stronghold. Honestly, I think this sign is telling the truth. But the speedrunner drops down the hole and dies. Oh wait, never mind. I meant to say they easily make it down the hole, which led them to the stronghold. Well, I guess that sign was lying. Not only is the end portal already lit, there's also a chest and a bed. And inside the chest is insanely overpowered loot. So the speedrunner takes some of the loot, sets their spawn point, and enters the end. Once in the end, they have to make a very difficult jump. So the speedrunner tries to make the jump and fails. Oh wait, never mind, they easily made it. Oh, I could have sworn they fell there. Maybe it's just a glitch or something. Well, now that the speedrunner easily made the jump, they can now kill the ender dragon. Why is the ender dragon on 1 HP? Well, all the speedrunner has to do is hit the dragon one time, but I think they shoot over a stack of arrows but consistently keep on missing. Honestly, I don't think there's a single person who has worse aim than this speedrunner. Eventually, they hit one shot and it kills the ender dragon. And that's how the speedrunner finishes his speedrun. This speedrunner starts inside of a village. They immediately turn into the right and go in third person, where we can see a strange emerald block on top of this roof. I'm guessing it was there to symbolize that building, so that way they know which building to go inside of. And that's that's exactly what they do. They go inside of that building and find a chest. And inside that chest is a strange amount of obsidian. So the speedrunner takes all the obsidian and leaves the house. Once outside, the speedrunner finds some floating obsidian, which I guess is there because he forgot to break his last nether portal. So with the speedrunner's very legit obsidian, they begin to make themselves another portal. Oh, they messed up. So they try making another nether portal, but they mess up again. Well, you know what they say, third time's a charm, and they build the nether portal. The only problem is they have no flint and steel to light the nether portal. Wait, what the heck is that? I don't think villagers randomly have a flint and steel inside of an item frame, but maybe I'm just missing an update. Well, the speedrunner takes the flint and steel and lights the nether portal, but instead of going inside the nether portal, the speedrunner turns around and begins to mine a random piece of grass which has TNT below it. Well, I wonder how they knew that was there. Well, now that the speedrunner has the TNT, they now go inside of the nether portal, and once in the nether, they look around for a little bit until they decide to mine a block and place their TNT inside of it. But once the TNT blows up, they find a chest. So the speedrunner opens the chest and find tons of ender eyes. Wait, what? There's also a pitcher pod? What the heck is a pitcher pod? Well, the speedrunner takes all the eyes of ender and the pitcher pod, I guess, and goes back through the nether portal and into the overworld. Once in the overworld, the speedrunner finds a dragon egg and they just stare at it. So, how's your day? They find some stone sticking out of the ground and they jump on top of it to do some insane house parkour and find an end portal? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure end portals don't just randomly spawn on top of villagers' roofs. But the speedrunner places in their eyes of ender and enters the end. Once at the end, the speedrunner is trapped inside of some end stone. And since they don't have a pickaxe, there's literally no way for them to get out. So how do you think the speedrunner is gonna get out of this hole? A, mine out with their fist. B, magically get a pickaxe. C, going creative. Or D, leave. Well, if you chose C, you are wrong, because they just leave the speedrun. This speedrunner starts inside of a swamp biome, which if you know anything about speedrunning, you know is probably the worst biome to speedrun in. They start off by finding tons of ocelots for some reason, which is kind of weird because everyone knows that ocelots only spawn inside of those pink tree biomes. But the speedrunner ignores the ocelots and begins to mine a tree. They get a few logs and turn the logs into planks, which they use to make a crafting table. Once they place down their crafting table, they make themselves a pressure plate and some trapdoors. The speedrunner places down the pressure plate and there are trapdoors right next to it and just sits there and looks at their amazing contraption. Eventually, the speedrunner gets bored and starts doing some weird stuff to this cow. And honestly, at this point, I'm confused how this is even a speedrun. The speedrunner then starts to attack this random baby ocelot for literally no reason. The speedrunner gets bored and starts making their way up a mountain. Once they get to the top, they see this giant cave that for some reason has torches inside the cave, which I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure torches don't just naturally spawn. But the speedrunner explores the cave for a little bit until they find an end portal. But the speedrunner obviously does not have any ender eyes. So they go in creative and give themselves some ender eyes. Wait, what? They place in the eyes of ender and enter the end. Once in the end, they go up to the dragon and type inside chat, "Dragon, die!" Which if you ask me is obviously not gonna work. Wait, what? Well, the dragon is now dead and the speedrunner goes to the portal, but wait a minute. They start to come up with an evil plan. They explode the entire end and then they go through the portal. If you enjoyed that video, you should probably click this video as well because you will enjoy this one just as much.